Sir, please introduce yourself.
My name is Steadman. From the streets and Fernando. Ex-national player, professional. New York Generals, New York Cosmos.
John, what school you went to? Primary, secondary?
San Fernando Boys Government. And I transferred to SD, Assembly Adventist Primary School. And from there I went on to St. Benedict's College.
St. Benedict's College?
Yeah. Secondary school.
Secondary. Who was your coach in those days?
The coach in my days was like, we had a guy named Reginald Renwick. Clifton. He was the first coach.
What period are we looking at? 19?
Talking about 1963, 62, around that time. And then I played with the national, with the senior team. Guys like Bobby Sukra.
Juan V.
Yeah. Well, Juan V had left that the year before. And then to replace these guys, like when Archibald the leader come in hand.
Okay. The point boys.
Points, yeah. Together with Cupid from Faizabad, Forest. And from that team that Don Basil comprised.
Don Basil, the great Don Basil Matthews.
The rest was history.
He was a priest, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Catholic priest. Yeah, somewhere I remember exactly where he was working. Somewhere in Europe. He did his thesis and whatever, theology school. And he came back to Trinidad. He's really from Sawa. Came back to Trinidad. And then he decided to put him in St. College. So I understand. Because that was way before me. My bigger brother, he attended Benedict's at the time. When he had Benedict's.
Was he a teacher?
No. He died. He was in the army outside. And he was the second one in our house. The teacher only went to Benedict's. So 4 of us went to St. Benedict's. Different times.
Okay.
Teacher, well, he wasn't really a footballer. He was just one of the guys in the family. I was more the son, and my younger brother, he died to Milano. He attended Benedict's. He played for them also.
And you came from a twin?
Yeah, Janice.
Jan and Janice?
Yeah, she died in 2007. She was in New York City. She was in the family. I returned home to St. Mary's College after playing professional. New York Cosmos, New York Generals, New York Cosmos. And I attended Brooklyn College, where I got my degree in physical education.
So that's the jersey you're showing out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened is that I came back to St. Mary's and I coached for a while. Napolima, China. I did some services.
So you coached a number of schools apart from your alma mater?
Yeah.
How did it feel to coach a school to come and beat your school? You know?
Well, at the time, my school didn't really, they wanted a change. And with that change, I went to other places and they accepted me.
Okay.
I wasn't going to let that, I got chastised for that from guys when the school looking at me, okay, do that. But I'm a coach. I'm spreading my knowledge, I'm just trying to make guys better. I was responsible for a lot of guys going on scholarship, which I had that, avenue. I had a guy named Knight Paul, who attended Benedict's. He's a dentist right now. Right now he's working with the Atlanta Soccer Academy. They have these programs right through America. Not only one state, but it's 52 states. They might have it in about 50 states. And then they all come together and they pick the best. Right? With one program that is going right through different areas, different coaches, but the same program. So it's easier for these guys to fall in. See, they could do from one stage to the other. On the 14, on the 16, whatever, on the 23, into the national team. Most of them go to universities to play soccer, you know. Well, my thing was giving scholarship to guys in San Fernando because we hardly ever mentioned in these things. And I was successful in what I did.
What do you consider to be the high point in your life? So many.
So many, but the high point I will say is that returning home, you know, and giving up some of my knowledge to my players, getting guys on scholarship, you know, getting away of the outside world, that to carry about yourself and you do things like that, so you can get put up with the outside. But it's very, very, very easy to get caught up. Then I will have people in place, the guys go on scholarship, to be a turn in the tail because, you know, you have to be checking on them, the young guys growing up. If you don't do that, you could end up in trouble. So it was good for me and those guys who went over there. You know, men like Ivan Sampson was doing well. And before Ivan, it had a lot more. A guy was Nathan Naps. The first guy who went on scholarship was a guy from Bristol. He went out there and he did well in the universities. Even one time he came back and told me, he said, hey, you know, I don't know football and these coaches out there. I laugh because that is how it was in that time, you know. People doing they getting the degree in physical education. So that allowed them to coach, they learn a little soccer. But the essence of the game, the whole thing, it was not there. They were more physical. But now there's a lot of good players out there now, good coaches coming in. And they're setting up programs. But each school wants to win. You know? You see people coming from all over. The last time I was out there doing some coaching stints, Thai guys are coming from Australia, England. They're all looking to get a degree. And they're getting it through football. The soccer over there was here, so you call it football. I got a lot of guys who went out to out there and did well. You know, fellas like Avery John and these guys who played for the national team also. So there's a lot of guys that went out there and they pick up the football. And that's what it is now, where you get picked. But what is happening, the competition is so great now that if you are not prepared properly, they will not take you. You know? And this is where we are lacking that nursery, that building, the understanding of the game, knowing your role when you play in the game. We just don't play like that. Just play. But you have to know, what do you know there? You have to know your role in the game, your position. This is what's happening with our country today. We have too many coaches teaching the youths who are not of that level. And it's what you play, it's what you learn when you're small coming up. You understand? Very few people get over that little, but the rest remain that way.
Yeah.
You might know the skills, might learn skills. We see in television, you see guys doing certain things, but then what you didn't learn is why he did that, when he did it, these are the things you have to know. What position he was in, what situation he was in, he had to use that skill, things like that. We don't teach you that in schools on here. I remember I used to teach my youths and their parents nutrition, what they must eat, and what they, things to stay away from, and things that they must eat plenty of. How many coaches do that in this country? So that alone, again, we are lacking in that aspect. Knowing the proper things to eat to strengthen you. So it's not only playing soccer, there's a lot of things behind it. It's not just coaching. There's a lot of things behind the game.
I want to put you on the spot. I want you to go back in time and see if you could identify one particular game in Trinidad and another overseas that made John Steadman proud to be himself of his achievements.
Well, I have to say playing with Benedict. I was proud playing with that team. We had a cohesive team. We were gelling. Well, I say true to August Winter. He's now. He taught us, the rudiments of the game. He made me a left back. I was a right footer, I was a left back. I used to kick with my left foot. As a right footer, you're playing on the left side. It's a different position. There are different ways you'll have to position yourself, And these are things I learned from him. When I went out to professional, after I went out to professional, it's the certain things I learned from playing with Generals and with Cosmos. Understand? Some of the things that we do here, we like to ball watch. But yes, you can ball watch, but then if you don't put yourself in a position where you can see the ball and the man you're marking, like the game yesterday I was watching there, I see guys sneaking behind guys' back, and America was only hitting us a long ball on the flank, and catching the wing back more inside, instead of in a position where you can see him, and as the ball play over, you can go out there, not sell yourself, but make sure you're there. You're not seeing that. Covering wasn't that, I think what happened is that Frederick have a hard thing on his hands because, he went for the players who are outside, who are supposed to be at a level. But to me, they are far from it. One or two guys I looked in the second change in the second half. They brought on a group of guys who was making some nice combinations, some touches in between. But it was short-lived, it wasn't that effective. If you look how America was playing their football, something that I used to teach my team to play, bringing the ball from behind.
Yeah.
We don't have that confidence in us. We don't. We always hitting the ball up the road, hoping. We really don't get that cohesiveness with him. When I was coaching here, this is what I try to adapt with my teams, to understand that. And you must have confidence in yourself to play that position, to play that kind of football. You can be panic if a man running into you, you panic and you make a bad pass. I see some bad passes on me. I remember right away, I remember the Italian coach who was coaching the ladies said that we cannot pass the ball. Now a lot of people get harassed with that. Apparently they didn't understand what they were saying. Yes, we could pass the ball. We could pass the ball stationary. You understand? But movement, this is what we're talking about. That cohesiveness, that coordination to pass it while you're running in the right position, these are what we're lacking. This is what they mean. The game is a moving game. The game is not a game that you stand up and I pass it to you. Yes, I could get it to you a million times. But when you have to run and concentrate on a guy coming to tackle you to make that pass, and you panic, it's bad passing. And there's a lot of bad passes going on out there. So we have to do something about that. We have to work on. I thought, well, Steve Hart, when he came home and was coaching national team, I said, okay. But then I thought he would have gone to the youths and build them from there, that would have been something.
Yeah, for tomorrow.
Yeah. But he went to the senior team. So he was coaching a senior team and they have no replacement. And that is what is happening in this country. Everybody talk about football, but nobody talk about the youths and the proper program for the youths. It's there to learn it. I go outside and do programs out there. And we're nothing like that here. We're far from them. You understand? Yeah, we're very, very far. So all the talk that people talk about this and that, everybody's a coach in Trinidad. You understand? Nobody's a teacher. You understand? Nobody's teaching you the right thing. So there it is. I see some faults in the game, but I say like we have one or two players like at last batch came on there. I see they were more or less, well, they didn't get that much goals. I mean, America make some stew, yes. And they were equal to this task. I see some nice passes in between, a little possession for a while. But we need it like how America was playing right through. No, I'm not saying that America could do that against a team like Brazil and these, because you'll find quicker players, smarter players. So they will know. You see, they wanted to play a game outside. We get them a practice game. We were glad for that, but that was good for us. For our players to see how far they are in the training and the level of football. Now if you check it out, most of the players are from outside, who playing, canvassing outside. Very few players from the leagues in Trinidad here were used. And the reason for that is because the league here is not of that level. You understand? And I always said it from before. Our league here is not of that level, but everybody feels they could coach and they win a tournament. But when you go, like I remember when Connection winning out here, Jabote, and they go to play. It's 4 and 5 they get in from Kansas City. You understand? I used to be out there looking at the level of football these guys playing together. Now they have a better thing going on there now. They bring in players from England and all these places who we will say over the hill. But yet they still have something to give.
To contribute.
They will contribute with something good. The guys will learn from them. We can't afford to do that yet because nobody going to football. What kind of salary will give these guys to be attractive to play? Can't do that. So there it is. We always will be in that position. I always say they could be the best coach in the world. Unless we change our attitude, tactics, get somebody, we will not reach anywhere. We could pull out football from youth. That is where it starts. Nobody want to believe it. Everybody feel it. Yeah. Football is not just playing football. You understand? It's a science. You have to know how to identify space, create space. You understand? And protect space. These are things, it's space you're playing again. You don't know the guy going to put the ball, and you can't be up on a guy. You give him enough, you know. And you have to know when to make that move, when to slow up, you know, things like that. And this is where the coaches here have to get the youths and them aware of these things. Understand? I remember when I was a junior, I was teaching them a trap. The ball coming in the air and you're trapping it between your legs and you'll be facing it. It's physics. It's an automatic turn you making with that. And I make it, we're playing a practice game and I pass the ball to one of my players. Well, he was one of the coaches too. And he fumbled with the ball. So I asked him, how come you fumbled with the ball? He said, you know something? I was amazed. I said, what about what? I said, I always see you teaching these guys to do these things. And when you did it and passed it to me, I just couldn't believe it, you know. It was like, hey, you know. I said, well, that is what the game is all about. We learn things, we see and learn, and we practice. You see, practice is perfect, but practices are permanent. You understand? They say perfect, but it's permanent. It becomes part of you, and this is what we have to learn here in this country. For our football to reach anywhere, we have to start thinking about the youths. It's the youths have to learn the football to reach to that level. I went to Florida a couple of years ago, and Barcelona, they have camps. A friend of mine who I taught in Abraham, he invited me, his son was playing with them. And I went and I looked at them. Then I went to Maryland, they have a camp there too. Understand? And my horse, I used to call him my horse, Ivan Sampson, that's one of the players that I always adore because he had learned plenty. He's doing coaching now, very good. And he came back with a Barcelona plan. The way they develop the youths, you know, and the kind of magic thing these people were learning and doing. I say, wow. I said, we are far from that. He watched and he laughed. Now, these are the things that is happening. You know, they're developing the players from you. You understand? We are not doing that at all. We're expecting somebody to do it for them. Coach in school. But how much you coach in school, they teach you to trap. So I see guys ball bouncing on man, foot and going on. The science and the technique. Just before the ball reaches your foot, you pull back. They give it that cushion to stay right there. You don't have that. You know, you don't have that. In other times, these are the basics we used to learn. You understand? There's not so much to learn now that they're going away there above their head. They're not going from A to B to C. They're going from A to D. You know, they're jumping. So they're getting misled. You know, it's sad, it's sad. And that is why we don't get much scholarship again. Yeah, because most of the players who coming out from outside. I remember I came home after watching, I was in the States, and I watched under 17 final. The African team, first time they were in the finals. First time I heard about them playing football. And the level of football they were playing, I said, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I came home and when I look at the two top teams in Trinidad, and I remember a presentation place in Manuel. And the football was slow, and this item is under 20. This was under 17 I look at. I come to look at under 20 team. And it was slow and moving. And a guy asked me, he said, John, maybe you used to coach. These guys who play so slow. I said, no, they can't play like that. Football is a game. Speed up. It's not a slow game, it's a fast game. You know, and these are things that we have to learn to do. Under pressure, how to play. But soon as we get a little pressure, we get panic. Panic stepping, make bad passes. You know, too close to each other, things like that. You know, we're not pulling off. The ball going to our partner, you pull it off to give him that option. You understand? There's options you have to give him. The guy without the ball is the man, not the man with the ball. The man with the ball will pass the ball. So the man will make it more optional for him. And that is what is not happening in our football. We take too long, like we wait until we get the ball before we can do something before. You don't know what you're going to do, you don't have the ball. So as soon as they come to you, know how many options you have. That's the level that we have to reach. Understand? You can't lose that by osmosis. And we taught that. And if the coach don't know these levels, you will know it. Who will teach you? Understand? And then you might go out and play with teams and you fit in, go to them, but when to do it on your own, you're not there. Understand? And I know it's sad. It's kind of sad for me. So that seminar I get, it was a wake-up call. You know, for the whole football fraternity. I mean, Fenwick might be doing try something. Because he knows himself, the guys here ain't that good, so maybe it's 7 or 6 fellas who get the gun out 24. The rest of fellas playing outside. And 1 or 2 guys I see were looking pretty good. They were picked up. You know, they are the ones who are picking up the football, just playing, I guess. You know, they fit in. Like how we had this guy used to play for outside. Captain of Trinidad and Tobago. He used to score goals, but he was really a defender, a flank man, things like that. But he was being given the ball to score and he will score.
Yeah. Do what he was being taught to do.
You understand? But if he playing outside, he playing with people who could create.
Okay.
But if you don't want anybody to create for you, and you can't create for himself, I remember he playing with Sila. This guy used to play with him, I remember his name. He was captain of Trinidad, and he played for this. And you can see the difference in the 2 forwards. One was from Africa and he was from Trinidad player. Cisse will create things. He couldn't do that. But if you put it there for him to score, he'll hit it and he'll score it. He still will create. You look at Ronaldinho and these fellas, forwards I'm talking about now. They create. You understand? So instead of not getting the good feed, they create. You understand? Guy talked to me was one of the best players that came out from that era because he used to, I guess, the kind of training he got out there, he created. He was creative. He scores. But then he had to work hard because they make him vomit. He just couldn't go there and just, and this is the next thing. This is what killing us here. We don't have that stamina. But we are eating properly. Nutrition. I always tell them, oh, they're hungry. They say hungry for what? They say hungry for good food. Yeah, I used to tell them, there's a laugh and feel it. I say, I'm hungry. I said, no, good food. Nutritional things to strengthen you. But I know where I came from. You understand? Now there's a lot of chemicals out there, really bad, leaves with holes in it. Now people see that they want it, but check it out. The insect eating it. So that's good for you because there's no chemical in that. When you look at the nice looking one, you wonder, like the chemical, don't I get nothing? You know? How much people know that? How many coaches could impart that because they don't know? So it's like, you gotta try and, we have to do something about that. On club level, we have to do it like when I say, we feel we have to have a national team. We have to pick the youths and we work with them from small. You can't leave it to the clubs to do it because the clubs are bringing the youths to that level that you want, and you have to work with them. America can afford to do it because they have a program right through. You understand? And then they get together and they pick the best.
So we need that program to coach the coaches.
But all of that. You see, what is happening is, you see, our next thing too. You could do that, but sometimes they might not understand as a coach what you're trying to get across to them. You know, because they're so in thing in what they learn from small growing up. But we never had a good program here really. Yeah. They never used none of the baddest guys who already taught coaching. Kenny Joseph was the only one. He does it professionally. He was a good player. And he coached the national team, he coached the army. He even won a CONCACAF tournament. You understand? Mm-hmm. And we was from Benedict's. So he applied what he learned. He had learned something from the program. And Roger did, and Warner came and just polished us up. And the other guys, they didn't really see that. And these are the ones who are coaching. They are the ones who do the coaching. So that's what we want. It's sad. So it's hard for any coach coming from outside, coming to coach. I mean, I know Fenwick said for himself, that's why he chose these guys from outside. Because taking guys from here, it doesn't make any sense.
They're not ready.
Yeah, they're ready. Yeah. The professional league is not ready yet, I always say it.
Okay.
But I get chastised for it because of what I say, but I don't care what they say about me. I told the truth.
Okay.
I believe in truth.
Whole truth. Nothing else
but
the truth.
Yeah. I do always study it. But you can see the results. Understand? That's what I am seeing is true. We're not there. So we pick those guys now who came, and a lot of them not there. I look at the game and a lot of them not there. I mean, some of them may not be fit, but instead of even not fit, you could see something in you. Like the other guys who came on who I was impressed with, for some of the balls that they had and more to play, I was impressed with the talent. The other guy with a kind of a ras, he's pretty good. Some of the guys around him were pretty good too. And after the game, I see number 12. He came on to, I think he and a guy, I think the guy who scored the 2 goals for them, I think it was Lewis. They embrace. Apparently, they play for the same club. They know each other from,
Leonson?
No, not Leon Lewis. Leon Lewis going through. I took my guy who played for America.
Okay.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals. I think it's 2 goals he scored. But I just showing you the camaraderie thing between those two. They like apparently they know each other. And these were the guys who come on and was looking good against the same guys, you understand? Which means they had a higher level of knowledge of the game than most of the guys I see out there. I mean, you can't blame Frederick for that because he know having a look at the guys.
Yeah.
You don't know them. You understand? They come in with their talent. And you have to see what they have and how we can think. Now we will have a better chance to make a 11, to work with a 11, or he's getting us time around the team. I hope the coaches and them knows with him, they will pay attention to these things. And leave it up to him alone. You want to see too. So, I wish them the best. I think what if you work with our team and get them going right? That test was good for them. Yeah, that was good for them. You see, we have a way about us that we feel, we beat America this time and beat America and beat America. But America never stopped playing football. They continue going. I remember when America beat us 1-0 here. The next World Cup 4 years it was going to be held in America. They went on a European tour.
They prepared for it?
Yeah, they went on a European tour. They played Italy and all these teams and went out and played. We can't do that.
What year Trinidad and Tobago defeated America?
What year that was? We defeated them just last year, I think, when then I think I got I can't remember the year, but the closest we had to go for a World Cup is when we played them with the Strike Squad.
Strike Squad? Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember we beating them. Could be. I
think it was a 1-0 game.
I know we stopped them from going to the World Cup.
Yeah.
That was an embarrassment for them.
Yes, and people had so much to say for a country with 1.3 million people. And America have millions to choose from.
Yeah, but I'll tell you the truth. Our goalie saved us that game.
Okay, who was the keeper?
A guy, I think a police. From Seta or something. The same guy who saved yesterday. I think it's he. He was the guy who saved. A man saved win, but yeah. He saved win. He's the one who really he was to me the most valuable player that day.
MVP.
Yeah. He was the most valuable player. But not to say because you beat them, but then again that was poetic justice. You know, if you believe in a little poetic justice, I will say that is that. You understand? Things happen.
Remember Brian Williams?
Yeah.
He's watching.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah. So, yeah, but the closest we thing was we should have won America to go to that World Cup with that guy. But things happen, technically things happen. You understand?
God is in charge.
Because see what going on now. We were doing so well, I didn't believe it. No, it was really set up for Trinidad and America. If America will have the World Cup next 4 years, they have to be in finals at least.
Yeah.
We get messed up with Costa Rica. When we draw with them here 2-2, that was a problem. First game we draw with them 2-2 in the stadium. When we went there, we score goals and they disallow it and all kind of thing, you know. That happens. You're going to play with 12 and 13 players over there, you know. So but when they got rid, you see, who was helping the team too was the psychologist. Okay. So this is something that Trinidad wasn't used to. Having a psychologist with the team.
Yeah. You
know, they'll have a doctor, yes, a therapist, but a psychologist is to work with your head. To get you prepared mentally, mentally is a mental game. You could be stressed out and things like that. Football not easy. When they feel it, but we was not on that level. And when they introduced that, we were doing good.
Yeah.
And when we had to play Guatemala, it's Guatemala or El Salvador in Trinidad. That is when they get rid of the thing, because if we had won that game, we won the game, And after that, we had to play America. Somebody gave me had to play. And they get rid of the head shrinker. That was the psychologist. So guy's head was kind of like, you know. But again, all this is a learning. I say every experience is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it, man. Because like, it come like professor. After Pan by Storm,
party done.
Yeah. You never catch yourself.
Yeah.
And we never catch yourself after that.
Yeah.
I mean, Hart came back and did a little thing with the youths and then, but again, you can't teach old dog new tricks. Not everybody will understand where he's coming from.
Yes.
He did well, He did well. But when you look at the football too, it wasn't. We were lucky to draw with Mexico trio. I was in the States when I was 3 or 4 or something like that.
Mm.
But then when you look at the level of the football we were playing, we were not putting them touches together. You know, you need to do it regularly, right through it. That's the game.
Mm-hmm.
I look at America play after that. A couple years after, I look at America play Haiti. And Haiti, they think they beat Haiti 1-0, but Haiti was all over America for just trying to get a goal and knocking that ball. And I said, wow, that Haiti team, but this is the kind of football we want to play. You see just how America was playing their football? That's the level we have to reach to if we want to continue to play and beat other people. That's the confidence we have to have as a defenders, bringing the ball from behind. You want to pull off, you know, you dictate your pace. You understand? You dictate in your pace.
Them follow.
Yeah, they have to follow. But they don't know what you're going to do. You understand? But we still standing up. I watch man ball coming to man, America moving on to the ball. They will be behind you, yeah, you feel you have them covered, but you're not in a position to see them on the ball. And time you take your eyes off of them because the ball coming and next thing you know, them reaching the ball free for you. They make that run, on you. And this is what was happening in the football. You understand? But like again I say, you can't learn things by osmosis. These are things you learn from small communities.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we need to adopt a developmental strategy.
Yeah. We have to have something. We have to do that. If we don't do that, we're in trouble. We just couldn't tap in mud. Until I see some programs outside that I work in and I say, wow, you know, it's rich. We're far from it. Far. That's why any little youth I put my hands on, they may not be no big star boy, but at least they have a knowledge of the game. They look good because they understand their role. And this is what's important. When you have that understanding in the game, that confidence in you, you hold the ball, nobody can come from behind you and just take a ball from you and you move forward with it. You understand? That was happening yesterday with the team. Fellas coming from behind. They blind to them and the thing, you know, they're on ball in that. You must be able to see space and everything around you. You must know whether you could make two steps forward or 1 or 3, you know, because you, and I think I like about Dwight York too. Dwight York is a play off the ball. And this is what we cannot do, play off the ball. Dwight York always look along his shoulder. He don't have the ball, but he always checking his shoulder. And the reason for that is because if he pick up a ball here, he knows how far how much steps he could make before I up there. So he have enough room for himself. But when you get an arm right on you, you're gonna hustle. You didn't check to see where he's at. You know, these are things, simple things, you know. It's no big thing, you know, it's simple things. I mean, the coaches now who coaching the national teams, this is what they expect the players to have. These credentials, but the players don't have. They're just better than the lot. But they don't have it to say, well, you know, they can go there and really play. But I hope, I feel good work with that. That last set of fellas who came on there, they were looking pretty good. At least they were trying to play the football. Come like when Benedict was playing up Fatima in the school, they used to look at us. But they learn.
Yeah.
And they played football too. They started playing. And they just said it. And then like Dupree and them said it. They said they were more spectators when they were playing us. Because we were playing a different brand of football, a football that they have never seen. And they learned the football. And that is how, at that time, the college league was real good. I see the college league used to beat Port Spain League and all these teams. You know? We used to win the Port Spain League. Yeah, we used to beat teams. We was not just, and here this one. We play Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have the college league football. You understand? So it's no rest in between there. And we used to do good.
Tell me something. Was St. Benedict's College the first school to introduce a foreign coach into soccer?
Definitely. We didn't have no kind of foreign coach here. When Dumbazel bring or Swita, that was the first, I think. Yeah. I know that, I had that before. We wasn't really into that, you know, wasn't at that level. Dumbazel who raised the whole standard, and he never get the kudos for what he had done to our football. But he's the one who raised the level of football in Champions. No, we can't dispute that. You want to dispute that, you don't know. He was the man. And they talk about Archibald was over age and all this kind of thing. Okay, alright, but when you check Archibald like a tiny man. You understand?
He was wicked.
And if you didn't bring him in, nobody would know it's Archibald today.
Yeah.
You understand? He got a chance in his life. You know. He would have just waste down in point. So everything of is good and is bad. Advantages and disadvantages. You know? It's good for some people, it's bad for some people.
Alright. Jan Steadman.
Thank you, sir.
International player, commentator. It was nice chatting with you. Any closing remarks?
Well, I hope that you learn from that. You can't really come down on the coach and say this and say that. You have to blame what is going on in the country, the football. That is what you have to blame. You can't blame no coach. You can't blame the players. Because if you were shortchanged from small, that is what they're going to play.
Yep.
You understand? I remember Ivan Sampson's son. Not Ivan, Riley's son who went to presentation. He used to with connection. Yeah, he was a little player. He started off with me as a youth, the smallest guy in my coaching school. But then his father took him to, he was going to school in St. Peter, so he started going there. And a day Ivan saw him and said, hey, what kind of football you playing? But no, tell your father, hey, bring him. So during the holidays, Ivan took him up there. And when he came back down after that, he was a different player. Totally different. Right now, he's playing football outside. They want him to carry him outside to Dubai and these places. But they want to start building a team now for the World Cup, wherever World Cup they're going to join. They want to start from scratch. They had the money. So you see, what is happening? But this football has gone from one level to the next.
Yep.
So I wish us well.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Anytime, sir.
Yeah.